The Brand New Day Show is presented by KFC. We like it. Diamond Beach Casino. Distinctive exclusive play sensation. Televidente, feliz dia. Bienvenido in the Brand New Day Show directo for the Isla de St. Maarten, Sunshine City, the Friendly Island. Nós dapat aqui na maneira vos não pora realizar e vos na asigi e transmissão nos a 13 diferente aspecto de eleição de St. Maarten 2020. Dapat snap election, pero nós tatay pa nos por cubrir essa aqui. For the hora que me quero chamar danke na Dutch Caribbean TV e também TV Caribe ku a host nos durante de nos estadia aqui. At também danke no nosso camarógrafo Devondre Jones. Mesora, nós começamos a tópicos nos que compartir cubo, se acaso a perder essa aqui durante de esse manco atrás de lomba. Eleição 2020 na St. Maarten at lugar dia 9 de januário, se passar dia webs, então nós três é processo. É processo para começar na Conselho Supremo Eleitoral, então claro, nós conversar com o presidente de ECI, nós conversar com ele fora na Curacao, pero e aqui nós conversar com ele aqui na St. Maarten, então essa aqui é o que é tem que contar-nos.
We have been working our way up to this special moment, which is tomorrow. We have less than 24 hours that, persons will be able to go to the polls and cast their votes and choose their representative into the parliament, one of the 15 seats here in the St. Maarten. We've been working tirelessly around the clock. Of course, we have our stakeholders. Yesterday, we had a press conference at the House of Parliament with all our stakeholders, from the police, the KPSM, of course, Police Sint Maarten, to the civil registry was there. I also had the Ministry of Romi was there as well, that is in charge of setting up the polling stations. And I also had the DCOM, the Department of Communication, informing the public of St. Maarten what their role is in preparing free, fair, open, and ensuring the fair elections. And we are ready, and we're trying to get as many voters out to the polls as possible in order to execute their democratic rights. We're very excited about it. As I say to everybody, happy election. Because why is it a happy election? Because actually, democracy is something that should be celebrated. It's a right that everyone has actually fought for, and we are able to execute that right. So I always say happy election, because we celebrate democracy by going to the polls.
Did the census office give an update with regards to those 1,400 more or less voting cards that came back were undeliverable? Because I know following on social media, say, well, the people are really encouraged to take the time out and go pick it up themselves. Did they give an update about that?
Yes, they gave an update about that. I also gave an update from my part. It should be noted that we, as a Central Voting Bureau, we are in contact with the various political parties, and each political party has 2 representatives to our voting bureau. What does that mean? That means that we communicate with those 2 representatives of each party in order to disseminate information, to make sure that they're informed of what is expected and what they can expect as well, and to ensure a smooth process. So with that too, we also indicated that the 1,420 voting cards that have been returned by the Postal Service of St. Maarten, that persons can actually go to the civil registry still and collect their voting cards. There are extra opening hours. Today, Wednesday, the day before election, they're open up until I think 7 p.m. this evening, and they can go tomorrow in order to collect their voting cards during the day of election as well. And from what I've been hearing from the head of the civil registry is that various persons, a couple hundreds as well, already up to, I think it was on Tuesday yesterday, have actually went and collected their voting cards. So I think people are getting, as the time is coming, people are getting more and more excited to, go out and cast their votes. Well, let me just first start by answering the first question in terms of my day today. Well, today we are going to continue inspecting the polling stations to make sure that they are all ready and in accordance with the law, because our legislation determines exactly how a polling station should look, and also what should be in the polling stations, etc., etc. So, although they have been set up by the Department of Romi and also the Civil Registry that have assisted in doing so, we as a Central Voting Bureau, and I as a chairperson, I'm going to actually go around and inspect to ensure that everything is in accordance with the law. So that will be quite a task this evening in trying to get all the polling stations done. But we will do it because we've done it in the past, and after that we will also be having a dinner tonight with our colleagues as well. And tomorrow morning, voters can actually start going to vote. The polling stations are open from 8 a.m. up until 8 p.m. My day starts very early tomorrow morning because I am going to ensure that I am present when the chairpersons of the various polling stations come to collect the ballots and everything, which they will be escorted by the police officers as well to the respective polling stations. So I will be overseeing that process as well. And after that, I think I will get a little bit of me time in because I will be going to the gym to get, to relieve some stress for an hour. And then I'm back on the trail again and doing some interviews and informing the public of what they can expect during the day.
Now, when I spoke to you last from Curacao, I asked you to look into your crystal ball, and now that I'm here on St. Maarten, I shall ask you the same thing again. But this time, I have two requests for the crystal ball. More or less what time, based on how things are moving and the excitement, people are going out and getting their voting cards at the civil registry, the campaign trail, more or less what time, based on the trends, the more or less between 60 and 67% of voter turnout. What time, more or less, would you expect that the polling stations will be closed so the preliminary results will be in?
Well, that's a good question. Let's first start with the first one in terms of the percentage of the outcome of the turnout, so to speak. Now, in 2016, we would have had a turnout of, I think it was 68%. And right after, as you know, we had a parliamentary election in 2018 as well. And that was after a number of people were displaced after Hurricane Irma. A number of people left the island as well. We thought that the turnout would have been lower. It was lower, but slightly lower. It was 65%. So that is not quite of a significant drop. However, we do expect that the turnout may be a little bit higher, will increase a little bit. As you said, correctly indicated that the trend has indicated that, or indicates and suggests that the turnout is usually between a 60 and 65%. But we do hope that it goes up, as much as possible. From our end, we have gone out and actually, motivate persons to vote, to study the manifestos, and actually had time to reflect on those manifestos in order to identify who would be their representative into the House of Parliament. In terms of the other question, your crystal ball, as I indicated, I do not have a crystal ball, but it is important to have the results in as soon as possible. I've always indicated that the longer you wait, the more people would actually question the credibility of those results, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. However, in doing so, it is always at utmost importance to ensure that the accuracy of the results, that those are not questioned. And that I can say that there was never any questions to the accuracy of that, so I'm very pleased with that. It should be noted that all the members of the polling stations all throughout the country, that they have received different classes, sessions in what to look at, what the procedures are, etc., etc. We had our last class, our last session on Monday evening. I spoke to all the members of the polling station, and they were very excited. And I can say that they're pretty much prepared. They know what they're up against. Even sessions of how to complete the process for ballot and stuff like that. Those sessions are given, and I do think with them executing their roles and their tasks, and also the tallying of the votes, that we should be able to ensure the public of St. Maarten and also the world that we have the results in at a timely manner, but more important, in an accurate manner as well, that the accuracy is in place.
Now that you mentioned process verbal, something popped into my mind. One of the communication informative videos that the government has been putting out is how to vote, and of course the part of the selling and taking pictures of your voting ballot. Who will be in control of that? Will that be the head of the polling station and his team, or will they be police officers also there reviewing? Okay, I saw a flash coming out through the curtain. How does that part work?
Okay, it should be noted that the info videos that you've been seeing are not from the government, because election is supervised and organized by us as a Central Voting Bureau, which is independent from government. The videos have actually been produced and made then, so to speak, by the Civil Registry and us as a Central Voting Bureau, informing the public of the procedure, and of course with the assistance of government, the Department of Communication of the government as well. And in order to reach a big audience, of course, they will put it on their website as well, so everybody else can see it, the Facebook pages, etc. And the legislation is clear in terms of what is allowed and what is not allowed. And of course, within the polling station, there are also guidelines as well. In terms of the taken pictures, we actually, that's one of our guidelines. We try to discourage that as much as possible. There were many talks about whether or not you can take pictures with your phone of, within the polling station, within the booths and stuff like that. There's no legal basis to say, no, you cannot. And with that regard, I actually referred to a big discussion we had in the community that was ongoing in terms of having to basically submit your telephone while going into the polling station. There's no legislation that prohibits that. Of course, we have our guidelines and we discourage it as much as possible. I think all in all that persons are very much aware and cognizant of the issue that you just brought to mind, and we discourage that as much as possible in terms of your vote has value and also make it count, and of course with an emphasis on the value of your vote, and that we try to promote as much as possible, that your value is in identifying that one person, he or she, that will be representing you in the House of Parliament.
Not to interpret it as selling your vote.
Exactly, correcto.
Também maneira boa por atendendo se você seguir a conversação, ela invita-nos para nos presenciar em momento 6 horas trempang, dia 9 de januário, no momento que a carro não estava também e respectivo urna não. E claro, amigo de Vondre nos estava até presente, então desfrutar de isso aqui. Televidente, feliz dia. Essa aqui é grande dia com a Sint Maarten também urna. Nós está aqui na registro civil e parte de cranchi lá nos bisa de Sint Maarten. Então já nós está lá boso apreciar e parte. Caminda é presidente de Central Voting Bureau explica-nos e também ministro-presidente Jacobs também explica-nos que esse aqui é o processo no momento que tour e ballots nang também para ang respectivo urna. 20 urna total, já nos mira que o corpo policial está parado para não por acompanhar e ballot boxes nang din ng kaha ng blow ku e number din ng urna riba nang e nantahaya ng acompanhamento policial manera na explica-nos na akinang nos mira kung nanta hinka nang ding auto pa nang por bay ng respectivo urna na check si Turcos ta okay ya awasi e baul tabong sera iya a police e undi presidente of shift leader laganos bisa di urna en kwestiyon tambe ta kumpanya pa su dos agente ng policial. Esa aqui tambe ta urna kuta bayendo tambe esa aqui ta bisa District 5. District 5 esa aqui ta Inangta District 5, ya nos ta ya Turcos pa nas por Dunabo esaki. Mainta trempang for the 6 horas, algo pa 6, ya tur police atapata akinang aparat guardando tur urna ng sali of ya ballot boxes nang das ballots nang ding kaha ng blow bong identifica ko number di distrito. Iya nos mira ninan tambe takla pa sali. Sitwasyon impresionante di verdad. For di trempang ng tabay ng distrito ng inang urna ng respectivo. Kumpanya manera na explica-nos claramente, kumpanya pa 2 agente policial. Nos aduna boso tambe explicación amplio pa di parte di cuerpo policial con esaki ta sucede y claramente y nos está contento también con nos por 13 esaki pabo mainda trempang for di Sint Maarten Sunshine City Sint Maarten ng gran dia ku pueblo mas ku 23,000 personas lota bayendo pa ulata elegible pa nam por vota ding eleksyon parlamentaryo di San Martin. Un snap election manera no sa binita kontabo 2004 tapos ultimo biyaku isla aki a experiencia eleksyon na ding termino normal, después snap elections na kumisa 2016, 2018 e tambe 2020 e nantabisa ku third time is the charm. Esa kita sitwasyon tiki-tiki nanta saliendo pabay ng urna respektivo paso 8 tur urna tahabri pues di 8 di mainta teku 8 di anoche. Pues esa kita nos prome reportaje di dia di awe di 9 de Januari 2020 St. Martin votes aqui directo for the isla di St. Martin está reportando pabo Merietza Haakmat e tras di cámara nos ting Devondre Jones anto den estrecha cooperación to Dutch Caribbean TV e TV Carib. Estava super interessante, tá algo que me mesmo não presenciar nunca. Me espera que você não desfrutar de prome block de nosso programa especial de Election 2020 na St. Martin. Pausa comercial e ora nos bem back directo for the Walter Plan Spear downtown Phillipsburg St. Martin. The brand new day show tá continuar.